The Messerschmitt Me-263 was a revolutionary rocket-powered fighter aircraft developed from the Messerschmitt Me-163 Komet in the last period of World War II. The Messerschmitt Me-163 Komet was a rocket-powered interceptor developed by Germany in the early 1940s. The 163, with its unprecedented speed and climb rate, was designed to intercept Allied bombers at high altitudes. However, despite its impressive performance, being the first aircraft to break the 1,000 km per hour, the Me-163 had significant limitations, particularly in terms of flight endurance and safety. The Komet's liquid-fueled rocket engine offered only a few minutes of powered flight, after which the pilot had to glide back to the base, often becoming vulnerable to enemy fighters during this last phase. Moreover, the volatile nature of the fuel used in the aircraft, particularly its highly dangerous propellant, made it prone to catastrophic accidents. Recognizing these limitations, the German engineers sought to develop an improved version of the Komet that could address these issues, leading to the design of the Me-263. This aircraft was conceived as a more advanced and capable successor to the Me-163. The design aimed to extend the aircraft's range, improve pilot safety, and enhance the overall performance. Several key innovations were introduced in the 263 compared to its predecessor. The 263 was designed to use the Walter HWK 109509C rocket engine, an improved version of the 163's engine. This new engine featured a dual-chamber system, allowing the pilot to operate the engine at reduced power levels during certain flight phases, such as the takeoff and landing, significantly improving the flight duration. To address the limited endurance of the Me-163, the 263 incorporated a larger fuselage to hold more fuel. This increase was aimed at extending the powered flight time, giving the aircraft a greater window to intercept and engage enemy bombers. One of the key changes in the Me-263 design was the inclusion of a retractable tricycle landing gear, a feature that the 163 notably lacked. The Komet had relied on a jettisonable takeoff dolly and a skid for landing, which limited its operational flexibility and made the landings particularly dangerous. The retractable gear of the 263 improved safety and made it easier to handle on the ground. Another innovation was the inclusion of a pressurized cockpit, which was intended to provide the pilot with more comfort and safety during high-altitude interceptions. Had the Me-263 entered service, it could have offered a significant leap in performance over the 163. The aircraft's top speed was estimated to be over 900 km per hour, with a climb rate far superior to most piston-engine aircraft of the time. The dual-chamber rocket engine would have allowed for more flexible and efficient power management, providing longer flight times and higher altitudes. The Interceptor could theoretically climb to 12,000 meters in just a few minutes, making it an ideal candidate for countering high-altitude bomber formations. Additionally, the Tu-63's armament was planned to include two 30mm Mk-108 cannons, powerful weapons capable of taking down heavily armored Allied bombers such as the B-17 Flying Fortress. Despite the promise of the Me-263, its development was plagued by several critical issues that prevented it from reaching operational status. By the time the Tu-63 was being developed, Germany's war situation had deteriorated significantly. The Allied bombing campaign had devastated the German aviation industry, creating severe shortages of materials and disrupting supply chains. Moreover, the advanced technologies required for the Me-263's production was still in their infancy. Rocket propulsion, while revolutionary, was extremely difficult to manufacture and maintain. The complex engines required expert handling, and the volatile fuel continued to pose safety risks. Testing the Tu-63 prototypes began in late 1944, but with Germany's rapid collapse and the capture of key production facilities by Allied forces, the project never progressed beyond a few experimental models. Only a handful of prototypes were built, and these were not equipped with operational engines by the time the war ended. The first unpowered flight of the Me-263 V1 was in February of 1945. Several more unpowered flights took place that month. Test flights later had to be halted due to fuel shortages for the Tau planes. Because the Me-263 was not part of the Jäger-Not program or the Emergency Fighter program, it was very difficult to get the resources it needed. For the time being, the plane was not expected to enter production, but further development was allowed. The V2 and V3 were not ready. The next month, both the V1 and V2 had the dual-chamber Walter engine installed, correcting the center of gravity problems. But they flew only as gliders. In April, the Americans occupied the plant and captured the three prototypes and the mock-up. The V2 was destroyed by another prototype and ended up in the US. The others were handed over to the Soviet Union, who then created their own Mikoyan Gurevich I-270 Interceptor. Though it never saw combat, the Me-263 presented the extreme length to which Germany was willing to go to defend its airspace in the final year of World War II. After the war, the knowledge gained from the projects like the Me-263 contributed to the development of rocket and jet technology in both the United States and the Soviet Union. German engineers and scientists involved in rocket development, including those working on the Me-263, were often recruited through initiatives such as Operation Paperclip, fueling post-war advances in aerospace. The Me-263 was an ambitious project that sought to push the boundaries of aviation technology during a time of intense military pressure. Although it never became operational, it served as a symbol of Germany's late war efforts to leverage cutting-edge technology to turn the tide of an increasingly desperate conflict. In the broader context of aviation history, the 263 stands as a stepping stone in the development of high-speed, rocket-powered flight that would continue to evolve in the decades after World War II. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel please and press the bell notification button. Thank you and see you in the next video.